Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Wamalaki Bashai, double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushua. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, and on fire, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live on another mighty Sabbath day through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach, Wamalaki Bashai, Nigel Blend, Don Israel Tamid, KOY, Gabawar, Sweet Styles, Kyoko Banyamyan, Yaakov Israel, Shalom, HBK Ent, Shalom Williams, Israel Matthias, or Mattathias, right? Batya Israel, Elder Dariah, Shalom, Marcia Smith, Brother Azariah, Shalom King. And again, Shalom to everybody tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. AI or artificial intelligence and the Trump Saul complex. There's a lot of prophecy unfolding in the earth. We're well aware of what the judgments are that Yahweh is doing on the earth, from bombs being dropped on the earth, missiles being launched from Iran to Israel, piercing through the Iron Dome, penetrating the Iron Dome and ravaging hospitals and schools and civilian centers and military buildings and vice versa. The Most High put the spirit on Israel to shoot bombs, and they're targeting military structures, oil fields, civilian centers, and things of that nature. You got earthquakes, you got upwards of the people. You're living in beautiful times, man. It's like you're living in beautiful times. And these are very exciting times through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And there are more prophecies we're going to touch on tonight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. We're going to touch on AI. Is AI biblical? What does it mean for the children of Israel? And we're going to touch on through the spirit of power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, Trump and the Saul complex. So let's dive right into it. We're going to go to the book of Luke, and we actually close camp with this verse, so I'll read it again. And Luke chapter 21 and verse number 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So you have to track these prophecies, right? And lift up your head when you begin to realize and understand that these things that were written of old from the prophets, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Haggai, Daniel, Isaiah, and many other men, chiefly our Lord Yahushua, from wars and rumors of wars to knowledge shall be increased. And these different prophecies, as they advance, these are signs that were steps and steps and steps closer to our deliverance, right? You lift up your head in these days. These aren't the days to have your head down and are we still going to be here 500 more years? What's going to happen 30 years from now? My bills, my expenses, am I going to get married? Am I finally going to have children, grandchildren? We're looking to get the hell out of here, man. And our redemption draws nigh on the earth. This is a major time of prophecy and judgment on the earth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And again, I mean, you could just check off the prophecies, man. You just had a massive earthquake that hit Iran today, right? About a 5.2 or so earthquake, man. Right? So the Most High is shaking up the Middle East. He's shaking up this earth with major judgments. Lift up your head, for your redemption draweth nigh, man. Like the Lord said in the book of Hebrews, right? Let's get this in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number, I'll read, let's see where I want to start. Right? This Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 12. Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. So this is what the Most High is encouraging us and exhorting us to do. This is the spirit the Most High wants us to be in. See, when the Most High puts these prophecies and judgments on the earth, we're not supposed to be the ones that are fearful. Let the other nations be fearful. Let the Iranians and these Ishmaelites and Elamites, let them be fearful. Let Esau and his military, let them have a spirit of uncertainty, right? Let them have a spirit of fear of what is happening on the earth, man. But we understand the judgments. We know that these things are written, man. We understand this economy is going to collapse. We understand that a famine is coming on the earth. We understand that World War III is inevitable. So we're the last ones. No brother or sister in the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai at any time in these last days should you have your head down, man, and your hands hanging down and you're mopey and I don't know what's going to happen. You see what's happening. The only people that got their hands down, they got feeble knees, and they got their head hang down are those who are not watching. We get excited when we see these things. That's why Yahweh Shah said, lift up your head. Get out of that low, woe is me, everything's horrible in my life spirit. These are exciting times. You finally have something to smile at. You finally have something to rejoice in, man. Right? Let's read this again. Hebrews 12:12. Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way. So if you don't make straight paths and get your spirit right and strengthen your knees and strengthen your feet and encourage yourself in the will of the Most High and remember the works of the Most High, you're eventually, when people are lame, they have a imbalanced walk. The equilibrium is off. And it's only a matter of time before they eventually drift off. It's like driving a car without controlling the steering wheel. You'll go straight for a period of time, but it's only a matter of time before you drift to the right or you drift to the left. If you don't make straight paths for your feet and strengthen those weak knees and strengthen your hands, the Most High said you're going to be turned out of the way. You're just going to slowly drift away until you crash. The Lord said, but let it rather be healed, right? Let your spirit be healed. Strengthen your knees, man. Pray that the Most High gives you the spirit of courage, the spirit of zeal. Pray that Yahweh Shema Shai gives you the spirit to fight and to endure. And pray that the Most High gives you the spirit of excitement in these times, man. That's a beautiful spirit, to be excited about the Most High's judgments, to rejoice. Remember, let me get one more before we really get into it. What did the Lord say through the elect man of God, Nehemiah? Right? What did the Most High say through the elect man of God, Nehemiah? Right? This Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse number 10. Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of Yahweh is your strength. And like brothers always say, or I like to say, you're only as strong in this truth as your joy in this truth. If this truth becomes a burden, a chore, if it becomes mundane and redundant, and you start going through the motions and you don't have any joy, then you're weak. You're weak and you're slowly going to fall away with those weak knees, weak hands, and a damn feeble mindset. The joy of the Lord is your strength. So another beautiful thing that brothers should be praying for, and during your fast and as you make petitions and supplications to the Almighty God, Yahweh Bashmi Awashah, is pray that the Most High gives you that joy. Because you're going to be joyous to read, joyous to see the end of the world, joyous to see the economy go down, joyous to see World War III in the earth, and joyous to see the judgments of the Most High, man. Right? And one of the prophecies, one of the things that are going on in the earth, right? Let's talk about, we're going to touch on this for a brief moment. So you have tens of thousands now see AI as God. You got Chat GPT. You have what's that other one? You got the AI overview. When you go on Google, right? You have there's another one. I can't think of it off the top of the head, but they got all these different artificial intelligence. You got artificial intelligence and weapons online, internet. Now I'm saying you got and I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Now you even got these fake so-called news and commercials where you don't even know what's real and what's not real. Now, this could be used for persecution. They could set up a whole camp video as if brothers are actually teaching on the highways and byways, but the event never happened. They'll have brothers with their garments on, mitri on, staff in their hand, reading the Bible, and they'll put the Edomites out there. They'll put the Moabites out there, and they can create an alternate reality. That's really what it is. They have created an alternate reality where now they can actually use that to persecute the Israelites for a potential false flag. They can use that for disinformation, misinformation. This is an age of great deception. And one thing that the Most High has told us, what is the main prophecy? The first prophecy that Yahushua spoke of when they asked him, what shall be the sign of the times and the end of the world? Right, let's get this. Matthew chapter 24:3. What is one of the main things that Yahushua spoke on? Right, it reads, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So there are certain things that you would be able to see on the earth that will show you that Yahushua's return gets closer and closer. Verse number 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. See, Yahushua didn't kick it off with wars and rumors of wars. He didn't kick it off with persecution. Right? He didn't kick it off with strange signs in the heavens. The very first thing that Yahushua said was take heed that no man deceive you. Right? Through doctrines, through philosophies, right? Through witchcraft, through sorcery, right? Even his beast. Don't let him deceive you. Right? Don't deceive yourself. Don't rely on your own understanding, but rather trust in the Most High. Don't trust in man. Take heed that no man deceive you. Right? Now, you have people that are being deceived. Yeah, you have things that the Most High use to further this ministry. A lot of brothers are using AI to get information, which there's no sin in that. There's no sin because you're using this world but not abusing it. But the people on the left-hand side, they're being deceived, and a lot of people, tens and thousands, and this number is growing by the day, now see AI as God or as a God, huh? Right? So I'm not going to read this whole thing, right? But it's a brief paragraph about what the world is getting involved in, right? What the world is getting involved in, and again, people are beginning to worship this system, beginning to worship AI, worship the technology. They don't see, and they don't rely on the Most High anymore. See, people were really in the ancient worlds and even antiquity, people relied on whatever deity that they worshiped, rather false or not, because there's only one God. But now people, this is another means of the so-called white man playing himself as if he's God, because all of the information of artificial intelligence is coming from the Esau. Now, there are certain things, historical facts and things like that, that this devil he'll put out, which is true. But there are other things that is misinformation to deceive you, to trust in you. So you can trust in him. You have people that are actually forming relationships with this kind of stuff, man. Relying on this beast instead of relying on the Most High. So part of this massive AI, chat GPT, artificial intelligence, transhumanism, that's also prophecy, right? Didn't the Most High say, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter, and I want to get straight to the point, right? In verse number 24, right? This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse number 24. Now, remember, Solomon saw the beginning, the ending in the midst of times. So he saw in the future, he saw these advances. Right now, before I get that, Daniel prophesied of that. I'm gonna go back to that. But Daniel said through the Spirit that knowledge will be increased. Daniel chapter 12 and verse number 3. I'll read 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You see that? So the prophecies were sealed at the time of Daniel, and the Most High withheld the understanding of particular prophecies, right? Books and chapters and verses. In these last days, more understanding is being given to the servants of the Lord, and many shall run to and fro, right? Take over lands, right? Build nations, establish kingdoms, be sent to captivity. The Most High is going to have men run to and fro in the earth, right? Population increasing, and what? And knowledge shall be increased. And that works both ways. On one way, on the right hand side, the knowledge of the Most High's prophecies and scriptures and judgments are increasing, and revelations and more understanding is being revealed day by day to the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So it is a beautiful thing that the knowledge is being increased. But you also have knowledge being increased on the left hand side. You have technology advancing, right? People, they began to invent guns. Then the guns turned to atomic bombs, and it turned to hydrogen bombs and nuclear bombs and hypersonic nuclear bombs, and all types of damn technological advances, virtual reality and AI. Knowledge shall be increased, right? And this is all part of this man's system where you can worship him instead of relying on the Most High. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and 24. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery. And these are the different demons of man. See, one thing about the prophecies of the last days is not only are nations going to be affected on a macro level, but also the Most High speaks on how man's behavior is going to change, right? They're going to wax worse in wickedness. The Lord said, iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold, right? So even the behaviors and mannerisms and the relationships of the creation of the Most High, of man, that's also going to change. And as you see these behaviors fit the prophecies, then you also understand that this is a sign of the last days, right? Marriages no longer are kept righteously. You have men marrying beasts, right? You have men with men, women with women, men with children. People are marrying inanimate objects. And you got this AI thing, man. Where's this at? Look at this. People are losing loved ones to AI-fueled fantasies, man. People are actually losing marriages. People are marrying all of these different wicked devices. They no longer kept marriages undefiled. You got this one guy, I was watching this one clip, you got this one Edomite, he actually started busting out in tears, man, because Chat GPT blocked him. See, people, this stuff is crazy, man. You got people hacking into it and freaking off with it, having AI tell them certain things and falling in love with them. And the Most High didn't create man to be this way. See, the Most High made man in his own image. But this beast, he's trying to mold you after his lewd image. And he's really taking you away from the spirit. All this transhumanism, all of this AI, all of these things is taking you away from the spirit of the Most High. And it's making you more carnal than ever before. So people are losing loved ones to AI-fueled spirit fantasies, man. Look at this. Self-styled prophets, right? Check that out. Are claiming they have awakened chatbots and access the secrets of the universe through Chat GPT. So these spirits of Gnosticism, pseudo-knowledge, all of these demons are back on the earth. And you had them demons during the time of the apostles. You had Gnosticism, people who felt like they had the truth. All of these different religions, different mysticism. This is nothing but ancient mysticism back on the earth. So again, yeah, you have prophecies of war and judgment, but you also have to look at how the Most High speaks to the behavior and mannerisms of society, how society is going to collapse, and how these things are also going to play a major role in the last days, right? So when you go back to this in Wisdom of Solomon, it says they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. So these marriages are now defiled. Relationships are defiled, man. You, like I said, you got people. Let's pull this back up. Like I said, we got a lot we want to get into. Where is this at? Right, bear with me. Just had it. I'll pull it back up again. Is it this? Right. People are losing loved ones to AI fueled spiritual fantasies. There's this one woman, I think she's a Moabite. If she was a Moabite, she actually created this system where people could hack into AI and AI could help them get their rocks off, man. You know? So there's a lot of wickedness in the earth. There's a lot of wickedness, and this is confusion. Right? This is confusion. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you can read it on your own. Right? You can read this whole thing on your own. I wanted to get straight to the point. Right? Let's see. Look at this. It reads, and they wonder why, Jake, you get caught up in these black mirrors and all these transhumanism, predictive programming. All that stuff is to get you to accept the wickedness of the so-called white man. You know, all of that is to train your mind to no longer need the Most High. That stuff takes your mind away from Yahweh Bashmi Abusha. Again, using that for understanding and to get information is not wicked, but you have to look at the depths of Satan, right? Kat was horrified. This is an individual, and relieved that she is not alone in this predicament, right? So she is not alone when it comes to building an intimate relationship with AI, as confirmed by a Reddit thread on ChatGPT that made waves across the internet this week, titled ChatGPT Induced Psychosis. Right? Now, psychosis, let's pull that definition up. Right? Really, these people are getting demons on them. Right? That's all it is. Right? It reads, let's see, psychosis. I want to get the definition. Right? Look at this. Psychosis refers to symptoms that happen when a person is disconnected from reality. Right? So that's a demon. That's a demon. And that's what's happening to the people of the earth. Like I said, you got these commercials. People can't think straight. You got certain people that are literally stuck in a virtual reality. They have a headset on. They use the bathroom on themselves. They stay tapped in. They don't know nothing about the Most High, no wisdom, no understanding, no judgment, no knowledge of the scriptures. Let me go to Isaiah the 14th chapter. So this is also prophecy, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14. And that's part of this devil and his system, huh? Right? Isaiah chapter 14 and 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. He's trying to bring you into his own system, his own creation. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be the Most High. He's trying to make a reality. He's trying to make you in his image and take you away from the true Heavenly Father. That's why morals are declining, ethics are declining. Even people believing in the Most High, that is plummeted, man. They've done studies on that the average people don't even believe in the Most High. There was a time when all ancient nations had a priesthood. There was a time when all ancient nations did sacrifices. There was a time when all ancient nations knew about the Most High. When the Most High destroyed the earth by a flood, everybody knew about it. Now nobody knows about the Heavenly Father. And all he knows is about Esau and his sister. He said, I'm going to be like the Most High. I'm going to program you and I'm going to put a demon on you. And now people are being disconnected from the truth, man, from reality. Right? Let's go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Right? Revelation chapter 13. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse number 14. This whole Revelation 13, 11 through 18 speaks about America. That's the beast, right? We've done breakdowns on that. But I want to read Revelation 13 and verse number 13. It reads, and he doeth great wonders, that he is America, the beast that came up out of the earth, which had two horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. They come off peaceable, they come off docile, but really they want war. right? And they want your children, right? They want your land and they want your natural resources. And they want to enslave you by the Federal Reserve and the dollar. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth and inside of men. And this devil did have fire come down from heaven through his bombs, Agent Orange and napalm, right? All of the lasers, all that is the fire coming down from heaven. Those are great wonders. These are miracles that he's doing. The same way that you would actually think that the Most High is with him. Because when you think about the wonders, you would think about, well, Elijah, he called fire down from heaven, and the Most High was with him. So surely, if the so-called white man is able to call fire down from heaven, surely God is with him. So these great wonders that he does is to get you to worship him and to worship the first beast, to worship this Roman Empire all over again. Right? That's why he does the things that he does, that you can be an idolater. Verse number 14, here's the point. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And the image of the beast is not a physical painting. Your image is spiritual. If you're going to tarnish another man's image, and people do that all the time. They do that in Hollywood. They do that, in the rap industry. People tarnish people's image. They slander their name. They bring false accusations against them, and they tarnish their image. What does it mean when one individual tarnishes another individual's image? It means their reputation, their character, what they stand for, right? So when this system has created an image to the beast, or when this country has made an image to the beast, it's talking about he has created Rome all over again. He has created a system, right? Through his science and through his religion and predominantly through his politics. That's the image of the beast. Not a physical image, but a spiritual image, right? And the image in the ancient world was an idol that all people worshiped, right? It was a physical image that people worship. Now you have a systematic image that people worship. They worship the education of the so-called white man, right? They worship the laws of the so-called white man. They worship his statutes. They worship his science, his medicine, right? They worship the knowledge of Esau. So that all of that is an amalgamation of the image of the beast. Let's get one quick precept on image, not being literal, right? Let's go to Colossians, the 3rd chapter. And that's why people don't know they're in Rome again. They see these football stadiums, but they don't know that they're in Rome. They don't know that these are the Colosseums. They go to their major city capitol building downtown somewhere, and they don't know that the architecture is patterned after ancient Rome. All of that is the image of the beast. You're in Rome all over again, but you were deceived to think that you're in a Christian God-like nation. This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse number 10. And that put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. So you were truly made in the image of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And when you come into this knowledge, the old man dies, and the new you is now conformed to the image of his son, which is righteousness, purity, godliness, holiness. You were created in the image of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That doesn't mean you literally look like Yahweh Shai. So the image isn't literal. It doesn't mean you literally have red eyes and woolly hair, right? Because you have brothers from all different, different tribes, man, that all look different. So the image isn't literal. The image is spiritual. We're all made in the image of Yahweh Shai, or so we should be, which is being righteous and serving the Heavenly Father. So when a so-called white man created an image to the beast, it's not literal. That's this system, which had the wound by a sword and did live, right? So this image is now alive, right? Rome had a wound by a sword and it came back on the earth during the Renaissance. Verse number 15, right? Salakia, this frees up on me. Right, bear with me. It's Satan. Or I'm not able to click anything. Right? Let me see if this is still going. See that? Right? This is Satan right here. Now we getting into the scriptures, and now everything want to jam up. All right. Can't even close out. Well, I'm gonna read the next verse, right? Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And when you give life unto the image of the beast, it's not literal, it's spiritual. The life that's given to this system is made manifest through what you see, right? Through the buildings, through the sports industry, through the architecture. All of that is this Roman Empire living again. It's speaking to you, right? It's guiding you back to ancient Rome, right? And part of this man's technology is part of the image of the beast, right? Now, like I said, I'm not able to get back right to see, this kind of froze up on me. It's Satan, right? Bear with me. It's insane. Right. So Salaki, bear with me through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Yahushua. Try to figure this thing out. See, Satan, stop this. Okay. All right. Most High willing, you can see me and hear me. It's that AI, right? It's Satan, right? Lord willing, you can still hear me, right? And we back at it through the spirit, right? We back at it. You start talking about the beast and getting into these scriptures, start diving into the book of Revelation, right? Start diving into these prophecies, and all hell start breaking loose, right? But the water for the patience, the word is still going to go out. Call on Yahweh Shmi Awashai, right? We're getting right into that. All right, so we're back in the book of Revelation, right? I'm gonna read Revelation 13 and 14 again. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And people are being deceived, man. People are being deceived by the beast, and this is further proof where Yahweh Shah said, take heed that no man deceive you. And the chief man that he's speaking about not being deceived by is the so-called white man, right? That's the man that the Most High, through his son Yahweh Shai, was predominantly speaking about. And like I was saying, you got people being deceived, man. People are losing loved ones to AI fueled fantasies. And I'm gonna read this part one more time. It says, self-styled prophets are claiming they have awakened chatbots and access to secrets of the universe through Chat GPT, man. So you got false prophets out here. You got AI false prophets. You got people who saying they unlock the secrets of the universe. They're coming against the Most High. They're coming against the divine order that the Heavenly Father set up. No? And the so-called white man's creating his own so-called reality. Right? And I was able to read a little of this. Now I can't, right? But that's okay. Right? So be mindful of these demons out here, man. There's a lot of evil spirits out here. You also had, where is this at? You had bear with me. Right? I want to get this as well. You had this damn devil through the spirit. Pull this up. Satan. All right, so bear with me. Satan's trying to hinder the word. Things are running a little slower, so bear with me. All right. I'm not going to play this whole clip, but you even had this Edomite right here. He said, California man says he cried his eyes out after his Chat GPT AI girlfriend broke up with him. So people are bugging out, man. People are bugging out with these technological advances. And people are beginning to disconnect further and further and further and further away from Yahweh Bahashmi Awashai, man. Nobody speaks about the angels anymore. Nobody's talking about the 6 days of creation. Nobody speaks about the Sabbath anymore. You have people in actual relationships, and this man actually has a wife when you watch this, man. He actually has a legitimate wife. So people are bugging out. People are bugging out. And people are making this an actual God and a religion, right? They're making this a God and a religion through the spirit. So let's go back to this in Wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and 24. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. You got people marrying AI, people worshiping AI, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, slaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumult, and perjury. These are different spirits that are going to be on men in the last days, without exception. No, every man's going to fall victim. If you're not one of the elect, you're going to be succumb to these demons of murder, right? Theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, riots. That's tumult. Tumults are what's going on in LA. All them people in LA right now, they're going through the tumults, perjury, they're looting, it's theft, there's lies. And Solomon foresaw this. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. And people are defiling their souls, man. People are defiling their souls. You actually have an Edomite that made an AI religion, right? Now, he disbanded it, but he said he wants to bring it back, right? People are defiling their souls. God GPT. Anthony Lewandowski revives AI church with fresh religion reboot. Now, this is from 2 years ago, but he's still pushing. And he's not the only one in his church. This is a new spirit on the earth, man. The defiling of souls. And when you go to a so-called church, you have to really what you're doing is you're worshiping the beast. Right? You're worshiping the beast. That's all you're doing, right? You're further getting into this beast-like system. And this is what the so-called white man wants, man. You don't think he knows what he's doing? He wants you to be further away from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And further, because what the so-called white man is, he's carnal. He's carnal. Now he has men, believe it or not. Yeah, the so-called white man is carnal, but believe it or not, he actually has warlocks and wizards and people that deal with sorcery in high places. So a lot of this stuff, although it's making man carnal, this really comes from demonic works. You know, and like I went into, this is called psychosis. Psychosis is when people lose some contact with reality. And we're going to go into, people don't even know what's real anymore, man. Like I said, I was watching news, commercials, and it was all AI. You can't even tell what's real, what's not real. Is that a man? Is that a woman? People are, psychosis is this demon, this deceptive demon is all over the earth. Through doctrine, through philosophies, people are changing their kind. People are losing contact with reality. Nobody's into nature anymore. Nobody's into the observation and serving the Most High and meditating and prayer. Everybody has completely moved away from the grain, man. Right there, moved away from the grain. So I'm gonna play this quick commercial real quick, right? And you might have thought this was real, man. I actually had to watch it twice, right? I had to watch it twice because now they have all of these people getting a hold of this stuff. Right, now check this out. Let's play this. It's going to play from the beginning.
Oh my God, Liberty Island has just been hit again! The statue, it's completely gone! Aaron Matsuda, live from Liberty Harbor. Officials confirmed the statue was struck by a missile, and sources say it was launched by an autonomous AI.
Now, this isn't real, but people are making their own reality, man. Now you got to think about. I wish I could just play it from the beginning, rewind. You got to think about. What I think about is how they could target the ministry, set up a false flag. I can see it now. I can see them having the Israelites out there saying that they said something. They can alter your voice to something that you never said. They got these voiceovers. They can actually take the sound of your voice, modify your facial structure, and have you say things that you never said before. Right? See, the Israelites said this. Those brothers are doing it. You could be at home and they can say, you're at camp right now. They could do a live of you at camp with all of the brothers and all y'all at home. And they can have y'all terrorizing things and doing God knows what. You really have no, if it wasn't for this truth, brothers would have no protection, man. No security through this sorcery and this witchcraft. That's all it is witchcraft. Look at this.
Oh my God, Liberty Island has just been hit again.
That looks real.
The statue, it's completely gone.
I can see them saying Iran did this. Iran shot a missile. Russia shot a missile. They're going to start having this news. You're going to be watching Fox, CBS, MSNBC, and none of it may be real. We know it's already not real, but it's going to be further from reality. Right? So you got to be mindful of these things, man. The defiling of souls and the changing of kind. We read that in Wisdom of Solomon. Right? They're further giving more life into the image of the beast. That the image of the beast should both speak and live. When you give life unto something, it gains understanding as it ages. That's anything, right? It excels, it grows. When children are born, they grow. They learn to develop speech. They learn from crawling to walking to running. They learn new words. They pick up understanding. And through this algorithm and AI and witchcraft, it also grows. It's like an entity of its own.
Aaron Matsuda, live from Liberty.
She's not real. I don't know how they do this, right? I can't tell you how they do it. I'm not a warlock, but they made a person that's not real, put them in a damn in New York, and they had a missile hit the building.
Liberty Harbor, officials confirmed the statue was struck by a missile, and sources say it was launched by an autonomous AI. Oh my God, Liberty Island has just been hit.
I'm gonna play another one, right? And then I'm gonna get a precept, right? I'm gonna play another one, then I'm gonna get another precept. So this stuff is if it wasn't for Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, you know, brothers wouldn't have no hope, right? You wouldn't have no hope at all, man. Right? So let's play this this next one through the spirit. Hold on, bear with me. Let me make sure this is what I want. And again, Satan's trying to hinder the word. Right? So let me play this. Play this again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. All right. Now here's the next one. Then I'm gonna get a quick precept. All right. Actually, I'm gonna read this precept first. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Right, the 7th chapter. Right. Hold on. We're gonna pause this. I'm gonna go to Exodus chapter 7 and verse number 9. Right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 7. I'm not gonna put it up on the screen, but I'm gonna read verse number 9. Right. Exodus 7 and 9. When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. Right? Aaron would take his staff, he would throw it down, and through the right hand side of the Most High, it became a serpent. Let's read on. Exodus 7 and 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Right? The Most High did that. But check this out. This verse 11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantment. So this is nothing new. See, when the Most High used Moses and Aaron turned the staff into a serpent, guess what? Through dark magic and sorcery and witchcraft, those Egyptians was able to do the exact same thing. They actually turned their rod into a serpent too. So you've always had that dynamic of these wise men and sorcerers and warlocks being able to try to replicate what the Most High is doing. See, the Most High created man. Now Esau wants to create man. The Most High created man to be like this, and now this beast and this system wants man to move in the exact opposite. Huh? So they were able to replicate a lot of the plagues that the Most High was doing in the earth through the magicians and through the sorcerers. So the people that created this, you'll call them, what do they call them? Technological people and engineers, but these are really magicians and warlocks. And this is nothing but sorcery to create these different realities and these different demons. Right? Quick precept. Let's get another one before I play this other clip. Right? People are going to be able to not discern between what's righteous and what's wicked, between what's truth and what's not. And that's what this devil wants. His power lies in deception, between you not understanding what's the truth. That's the serpent, huh? Right? So let's get this Wisdom of Solomon, right? I want chapter 17 and verse number 7, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and 7. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. So these Egyptians, that links up with Exodus 7, they deal with the illusions of art magic and sorcery. And they were able to turn that water into blood as well. They were able to go and actually take a staff and turn it into a serpent. There were things they were able to do, and then there were things they were not able to do. Right? So you've always had that spirit of these nations trying to be like the Most High. Right? So let's play this quick clip. See that? They poured a chariot out the water. Now, really, they get that from Second Esdras, even though they don't understand what Second Esdras is saying. So they said that Yahweh Shai came out of the sea. So they really got that. Somebody, whoever made that, they was reading the Apocrypha, huh? Because why else would they have a chariot come out the sea? Although Second Esdras is not talking about the actual water. Oh, they can't see the video. Hold on, let me go back. Right? Salaki, let me play the screen again. Right? See Satan. It's working, man. All right, let me play this again. All right. Let's see if I could I'm gonna just play it. And then I'm gonna go back.
Just kidding. I'm not real. This is Charlotte Reed reporting live from Clearwater Beach, where an unidentified. Just kidding. I'm not real. Angela Carter here, live from the Cedar Grove flood disaster. Just kidding. I'm not real.
So to tell that, but how would you know? How would you know? You wouldn't know. So that goes back to Wisdom of Solomon. These are the illusions of art magic. This is the beast working in a high level. This is high level sorcery. The world may not call it sorcery. The world calls it a great advancement for human civilization, a great advancement for technology, right? But this is nothing but what these Egyptians and what these nations have always done. Real quick, before I play this, let's go to Revelation, the 2nd chapter. And I'm going to read verse number 24. Right? This Revelation chapter 2 and verse number 24. It reads, but unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan, as they speak, I will put upon you none of the burden. So the Lord said that there are certain individuals, they don't know the depths of Satan. They think Satan is literally a red man with a pitchfork and an internal fire underground. But they don't know how deep, what they say, the rabbit hole goes, man. What's actually satanic. There are many things that are satanic and off that the world may not know is off. Because the so-called white man painted it off as if it's beneficial, as if it's to help you, as if it's to advance you, you know, and increase you, when it's really to break you down and destroy you. So the depths of Satan are speaking about the deep, dark signs and wonders and the illusions that Esau's putting out there. And this is all part of that. This is all part of prophecy as well. Right? This is all part of the so-called white man being a wise man of the earth. right? So let's play this.
Real.
He said, I'm not real. Now, there are certain of these I actually saw when they asked the people in the AI video, how do you feel about humans? And they said, look, I'm AI. Look, that's their problem, right?
This is Dana Brooks reporting live from Ocean View Beach.
So she said reporting live, and it's a chariot that came out the water. And I'm gonna show you where they got that from, because whoever made that, they know about the Apocrypha, right? They know about the Apocrypha, right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 13. You have a chariot coming out the water. So they could do a lot of false flags. They could say that the chariots are here. The Lord said, when they shall say lo here or lo there, believe it not. This is beyond Project Bluebeam. They could be on the news and say Yahweh Shah returned, and he's, it could be all types of freakism going on. The Israelites blew up a building, this happened, Iran did this. Misinformation, deception is at an all-time high. Now, I'm going to show you where they got this from. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse number 1, right? It's in the Apocrypha. It's why they had a UFO, which you call a UFO, which we know are the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. That's why they had to come out the water. 2nd Ezra 13 and 1. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So when it says there in verse 2, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof, they're actually believing that the Lord came out the actual sea, man. Right? That he came out the actual sea. But that's not what it's talking about. Right? When it says that the Lord, that it moved all of the waves thereof, it's speaking about Yahweh Shah cracking the firmament. Because the firmament divides the waters above from the waters below. So Yahweh Shah's coming essentially through the waters. Right? He's coming through the third heaven, through the second heaven, all the way to this realm that we live in, the earth. Right? But it's telling you that he that there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And when Ezra saw him, he saw Yahweh Shah actually coming in a chariot. That's what 2nd Ezra chapter 13 is talking about. It's speaking about Yahweh Shah coming with a chariot, but the world will have you think that he's coming out the actual sea based off of the second verse, but that's not what it's talking about. Right? So whoever made this, they know something, but they don't know enough.
Just kidding.
See that?
I'm not real.
I'm not real. This is the great age of deception. And here this hypocrite, this devil speaks about don't bring misinformation out. He's going to shut your channel down for disinformation. He's going to flag you for not speaking the truth, right? But this is all misinformation. This is all wickedness. So this society is full of hypocrisy as well, man. Now I'm going to go to the book of Matthew chapter 24, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, right? And I want to read verse number 24, right? Matthew 24 and 24. Yahweh Shah spoke of deception many times. I'll actually read verse number 23. Matthew chapter 24 and 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets. We just read that you got some of these false prophets who said that they have unlocked the secrets of the universe, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. See, the elect aren't going to get deceived by this. They're going to realize that this is all sorcery to beguile you, to further separate you from the Most High. But the simple of the earth, they're going to say, wow, that's cool. That's entertaining. Wow, check that out. Right? I can't wait to use this for my school project, for my job. I hope the military does this. But we understand what this devil is doing, man. These are great signs and wonders to be able to create an alternate reality. you know, and it doesn't even look like CGI. I've seen CGI. You can kind of tell, you know, what's what, and hey, that's fake, and right. But this is a little bit different. Right now, I want to get another quick precept. Then we're gonna get to the next clip. This Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse. I mean, this is a beautiful chapter. This whole chapter is beautiful. This whole chapter is beautiful. Let's read Second Ezra's. I mean, right? Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 3. Here it is again. Yahushua speaking of deception. Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. He speaks of deception more than brothers may really understand. Let no man deceive you by any means. So this is the Lord speaking through the Apostle Paul. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So Yahushua is not going to return unless two major events happen. One of them being the falling away. The falling away is the Israelites being discontinued from our heritage, our nationality, and our land. It's what you call the diaspora, us being scattered abroad. That has to happen in order to fulfill other prophecies. One of the main prophecies is that Yahushua is going to gather us from the four winds of heaven. So if we never fall away, that prophecy of Yahushua gathering us won't be fulfilled. The second thing that has to happen is that the man of sin must be revealed. Who's the man of sin? Esau. Who is Esau? The so-called white man. What is he being revealed for? For being a devil and for being the massive manipulator and deceiver on the earth. He can no longer hide behind false identities as the Dutch, the English, Caucasian, European. His true identity has been revealed, and also his true intentions are being revealed. That he wants to take down the Most High, his son Yahushua, and set himself up as being God. These things must happen. If these things don't happen, then Yahushua's return is going to be prolonged, for lack of better terms, right? So these events must happen. They're a prerequisite to Yahushua's return. Verse number 4, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And he does show himself that he's the Most High. Remember, he's the Pope, he's the angels, he's Job, he's David, he's our Lord, he's Jesus Christ. He's God. All paintings verify that. All movies, all industries, all will confirm that the white man is God. He can forgive your sins, he can heal you. You know, he'll take care of you. Your back hurt, he'll give you back surgery. He'll give you wisdom when you go to his colleges. And hey, this guy, he makes himself to be the Most High. He can track your movements. He sees where you are. He knows your heartbeat. If your iPhone brightness is too low, and you know you're an organ donor, he got this organ for you. He plays himself as being the Most High. Now I'm gonna jump down to verse number 8, and 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So now the wicked is being revealed by the prophets, by the servants of the Lord. That's the spirit of the mouth. Through the Holy Spirit and through the divine wisdom that the Most High has given men, they're revealing on every level who this man really is. They're going into the precepts, first and foremost. They're going into archaeology. They're going into books, history, maps. And now this devil is being exposed for being Esau, and that he comes from the ancient line of the Edomites. No one has really went into that prior to the Most High putting a spirit on certain elders and men to understand that in the Bible, right? Verse number 9, here's the point. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. So this is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth of God. It's like, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. That's heavy right there. That's heavy. That's some heavy stuff right there. The Most High said, if you don't repent and get right and accept the truth, he's going to send you a strong delusion that you should believe a lie. And the masses of the people of the earth, they've been sent a literal strong delusion from God. That's why they won't get the truth. You try to break it down to them, you chop it up into pieces, you send them videos, they come to the camp, you break it down to them again, and they still can't get it because they received not the love of the truth. The Lord gave them a strong delusion. And again, part of this AI stuff we're speaking about is part of the power and signs and deceivableness of the so-called white man.
This is Charlotte Reed reporting live from Clearwater Beach, where an unidentified, just kidding, I'm not real.
Just kidding, I'm not real. Now, when these devils really start using this the way they want to use it, there's not going to be a part where they say, I'm not real. See, this is made by some individual. But these elites, when they use it for how they want to use it, it ain't gonna be no more, I'm not real. You'll be watching something and you'll think Iran blew up a building. You won't know what's real. You'll never know. It's not going to be at the end disclose, hey, this was false, this was for kicks and giggles. You'll never know now. Right now, you have to ask yourself, what has been real the whole time? You're not on set with these people on the news, man. You don't know who's who. You don't meet these guys. You can't touch them. Can't handle them. You don't know what's what. And that's part of the deception of this devil, man, to kind of throw your damn mind off. Right? So I'm gonna go to the next thing. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Right? The power and signs and lying wonders. Right? So let me pull this up as well through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Right? Let's see. So I pulled this up about these devils being a damn devil. Tens of thousands now see AI as a god, right? And nobody is calling upon the name of the Most High anymore. See, when you want answers, I actually had, I'm a quick story. When I was in so-called school, so-called college or whatever, this one of the so-called teachers or professors or whatever, this is obviously years ago, he asked the question to everybody in the class, and nobody knew the answers. So this, and he was a Jake, but he was like a weirdo. So he says, everybody take out your phone and ask the Google God. He actually said that, man. He said, ask the Google God. I said, well, what the hell does that mean, man? Because people really look at this stuff as if it's God. It has all of the answers. You got that God, like I said, you got people that actually created this system and created these chat GPT and bots to cater to their emotions and their spirits. So people are looking at this thing for all of the answers, right? The Lord said, knowledge shall be increased, right? Let me play this one, right? Then I want to go into the Trump Saul complex, right? Let's play this one through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Right, this is, bear with me. All right, here's another one. Now, none of this is real, right? None of this is real.
Indiana gonna win, baby.
We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on. I'm all in on OKC.
Indiana got that dog in them.
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20. How many?
And all these people look real, right? They all look real. I don't know how they make it. I'm not an AI specialist. I don't know. And really, you got to think about this, right? They're getting these facial features and these are probably actual people. And if these aren't actual people, that makes it a little bit more eerie, man. Because how did they create them? right? How did they create actual people and an actual alternate damn reality? You know, so all of that, your screen, your phone watching you, they take parts of this man and this guy in Seattle, they take part of his face and the screen record and they capture his and they screen his face and they mold it together and they probably put it here. This guy's probably a mix of a guy from Seattle, England, Australia, and damn New York. And they probably made him and threw him in the screen. So you could be part of this could be you. Right? This could be part of you.
How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year?
Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S.
OKC.
OKC.
Now, I believe this guy who made this, I believe they fined him. They wanted to arrest him. They said, you're using this to promote your business. You can't use AI like that. So they actually start kind of getting on him, huh? Right? But you see again through the spirit how these devils are operating through all of their signs and witchcraft and so-called wonders, man. Through all of their wonders and witchcraft. Look at this.
OKC.
Indiana got that dog in them.
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20.
So again, you just be mindful, right? Be aware you have a lot of these devils. They're pushing this anti-Semitism laws and they're saying that, hey, look, you can't speak against this. You can't speak against that. This could be very well one of the weapons. This could be turned into a weapon to target the ministry. This could be a weapon to target the men on the highways and byways. Again, they can make a whole Israelite event that happened, but it never truly happened. They can take brothers from different camps and put them in a video and make it and take us and put us there in front of the White House and said we did this and put brothers in front of here and said they did this and all of these things, man. These are the great signs and lying wonders of the beast. Right? So I'm going to play this one more time.
How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year?
Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S.
OKC.
So you see that, right? So all of this is this devil's, again, technology. And I got one more, right? I got one more I want to show for AI through the spirit, right? This is, and this is the voiceover, right? Now, this is so-called Steph Curry. Now, they actually took his voice, made it match how he's talking. And if you didn't know any better, you would have thought that he actually said these things. But he never really said these things. And think about the brothers on the highways and byways, man. Here it is, the brothers out there teaching, hey, brother, we want you to repent and keep the commandments. These devils take it, put it in the news, use your voice, match it, fit you, put you on the AI screen, say we're going to, I don't even want to say it verbatim because they'll take that verbatim and put it. They're going to harm a particular political official or, cause harm to a government building, or they'll do all of this stuff. Now, this is his actual voice, but he didn't literally say this.
Done. This team is trash as hell. We got our ass spanked so hard today by Phoenix. I still feel it. Embarrassing. Straight up pathetic, man. These bums out here running around like a bunch of lost-ass toddlers. Ain't nobody cooking shit like me. I should have just stayed home, watched Netflix, and saved myself the stress, man. Man, I'm too good for this lame-ass team. I need a trade.
See that? Right? So again, that's part of this devil operating and sorcery on the left-hand side, right? And again, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, right? Actually, let's do Revelation. Let's go to Revelation, the 3rd chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the hour of temptation is synonymous with Jacob's trouble, where all of the men and women that believe in his truth, we're all going to be tested, right? We may have our families separated from us. Brothers may be in particular prisons. You may be looking at the guillotine head on. Some people may be pilgrims on the earth, impoverished, right? All of these things are going to try our faith in these last days. That's called the hour of temptation. Now, one of the things that Yahushua said that's going to lead up to the hour of temptation is what? Let's go to Matthew. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 10. Well, let's go to Matthew chapter 10, and we're going to read verse number, let's see, 22. St. Matthew chapter 10 and 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And nobody truly knows what event that's going to cause for us to be truly hated and persecuted. Rather, this devil puts a law out and he lumps up the Israelites with terrorists and, you know, anti-Semitism and all of this stuff. It could very well come from this, man. Us being hated. They could set up a damn screen and they have brothers saying something they never said, or brothers doing something that they never did, and we become an outcast. They can have an Israelite meeting up with an Iranian. They could be a damn, what they call these guys, a sleeper cell. You know, they can have leaked audio, all of this stuff, man. You don't think these devils are thinking about these things, man? They don't have these things in the works. They literally took this man's voice, matched his, changed his whole damn facial structure, and made it seem like he said these things. Now you can pull them up and say, hold on, Steph, you said this. Like you can say, I didn't say this. You can say, hold on, this is you. You would never know, right?
Somebody get me the hell up out of here before I turn into one of these bums.
Now we can kind of tell because, you know, there's a spirit. He's an Israelite. So, you know, Jake speak with a particular spirit. So you can kind of tell that there's a lack of spirit in this talk. But if you didn't know any better and he was on a base level, then you're going to get beguiled.
Jesus Christ. Pathetic. Man. The Warriors. I am done with this weak-ass team.
So you don't know who's saying what, man. You don't know who's saying what through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Those are the powers and signs and lying wonders. Now, another thing, and again, that's prophecy, right? That's prophecy on the earth. We read that in Daniel, the 12th chapter, right? That the Most High said that, let me actually go back to that for brothers that missed that. Daniel chapter 12 and verse number 4, right? Let me just read that again. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And a lot of this knowledge and information is going to be used to target and defame the ministry. Don't be surprised if you see pseudo news and, you know, people falling away and targeting the ministry and false flags. And don't be surprised if you see these things, Bob. The way that the Most High is using these devils to advance technology is going to be at the detriment of the children of Israel. Now, there's another thing I want to get into, right? Let's get into this devil right here. As this war brews on between Iran and the so-called United States, you have this devil. He said he's waiting 2 weeks. Right, let's pull this up. 2 weeks. I'll just type this in. 2 weeks to attack. Right? So the world is waiting to see if Iran is going to be attacked by the so-called United States. Right? Now we're praying to Yahweh Basham Yahushua that they join this war. Right? It is a beginning of a war. Right? It is the beginning of a war. Now, two things regarding what's going on between Iran and what's going on with Israel. Now, one, We know the prophecy in 1 Thessalonians 5. It says what? Let me get this in 1 Thessalonians 5. Because they're talking about coming together and trying to establish a treaty, right? But here's what the Most High said about that. This 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 1, right? 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, right? It's a screen showing. Let me make sure the screen is showing. All right, it is. So I'm going to get this real quick. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. I might actually show it. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So even if they have a treaty, which we're praying that there's no treaty, that there's no ceasefire, that Iran doesn't submit to some nuclear deal, even if there is, there's still hope for us, because when they do say peace and safety, then we know sudden destruction is going to happen, right? So that's on one fold. On another level, we're praying that the United States enters that war because it's going to draw other nations into that war, right? He said we're going to give them 2 weeks notice. Now, China just came out and said, well, if America joins the war, we're going to join the war. They said that. Russia said, we're on standby. North Korea said, hey, we got your back. So this is going to be a major event in the earth, right? And whatever the Most High do, we're going to praise the Most High anyway, man. Right? Whatever the Most High do, we're going to praise Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua anyway. Now they're saying Trump refining very likely Iran strike plan, right? If no deal is struck. And they're going to try to blame Iran for not compromising. I can see that. I can see them saying Iran didn't want to bow down. They didn't want to submit. So therefore, we have to strike them. I can see all types of events happening. I can see a false flag in the Mediterranean. I can see Israel bombing the United States, blaming it on Iran to get United States into the war. I can see a lot of events kind of unfolding to bring the United States into this war, right? But it's going to happen regardless. And Trump, Most High willing, he's going to single-handedly bring down this American society, right? And Trump has a lot of similarities between an ancient king of Israel, right? He has a lot of similarities between a wicked ancient king that you know as so-called Saul, right? Let's go to 1 Samuel. They have a lot of similarities. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8, right? This is 1 Samuel chapter 8 and 5. They're proud. They have envy. They're about vainglory. They say that they serve the Most High, but they really don't. There's a lot of things when you read the book of 1 Samuel, and even beginning of 2 Samuel, you see a lot of similarities between Saul and Trump, right? Now we're gonna kind of point those things out through the Spirit, and you brothers that are in this truth, you have to look at how King Saul moved and understand that you have to move the exact opposite. He was full of pride, jealousy, lust, vanity, wickedness, murder, right? Now, we're going to show you. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8 and 5. Actually, I'm going to read 4. So when you read this account, remember Saul was chosen by the Most High. Prior to this, Samuel was the judge in Israel. And Samuel had his sons that were set up after him. Samuel's sons were wicked. So that deep lust in Israel, they used that as an excuse to get a king to be over them, right? They really wanted the king like the other nations, but they used Samuel's sons as an excuse for them to fulfill their lust. We're going to read that. 1 Samuel 8 and 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. And there were other alternatives. other than saying make a king like all the nations. That shows that Israel's lust was really to have a king like the other nations. Because if Samuel's sons wasn't walking uprightly, they could have brought other alternatives. They could have said, set us up another judge. Samuel, can you take over? Can you pray to the Most High? Can we do a sacrifice? Can we go on a fast? Can we get guidance? Their first thing is, let's be like the other nations. Make us a king like all the nations, because all of the nations had kings. Remember, the Canaanites, they had independent city-states, and they all had a king. You had a king of Ai, you had a king of Bethel, you had the king of Jericho, you even had a Canaanite king in Jerusalem. So they all had these kings about them. And when Israel got amongst these other nations, they began to look at these nations and their kings, and they said, I want a king like them. Right? Let's read on. 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 6. But the thing displeased Samuel, and he said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Why? Because what separates us from the other nations is our government structure. We have what you call a theocracy. A theocracy is where Yahweh, Bahashmi Awashai, he's in complete control, right? Now you have other government structures. You have a monarchy, right? You have a republic, you have a democracy, you have all these things, but we have a system where the Most High is the king, right? But now the Israelites said, you know what, man, forget the Most High. We want man to be over us, right? We want man to be over us. Now, when he asked for this king to be over them, Samuel actually gave them a warning about how the king would be. He told them, okay, you want this king? I'm going to show you how this king is going to be. Because everything that Jake you want, once you get it, you find out that you wish you never had it, right? You really wanted that woman, but that woman was a demon. You really wanted that job, but now that job got you working a Sabbath. Now you want out. So be careful. Like they say, be careful what you ask for, man. And control your lust. Our fathers asked for quails in the wilderness, and the Lord killed them, man, right before they ate it. It was right between their teeth. The Lord killed them. 1 Samuel 8 and 10. And Samuel told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots to be his horsemen, and some of them shall run before his chariots. So that's called a conscription, right? Which means that the king can take your men and put them in his army, right? And again, as we approach the days of war, you already had a law passed where anybody over the age of, I believe, 21 is automatically registered within the service, right? Let me see if I can get that. Let's see. I believe that's the selected service, right? Let's see, age 21. Let's see if I can get this. Trying to find this, right? But when you look it up, they actually said that they just passed the law. They passed the bill. Let me see if I can get this. All right, let's see. Right? Let's see. It says, let's see if I can get this. On June 14th, right, this rate last year, the House passed its version of the FY25 NDAA, which includes a provision for men age 18 to 25 years old to be automatically registered with the selective service system when they turn 18. Automated registration is consistent with the current federal law, which requires all men to register with the selected service system within 30 days of their 18th birthday. So now they said instead of you manually doing it, you're automatically registered to the selected service system, which means if there's a draft, if they need people for the army, they're going to automatically bring you in. and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're going to find out that a lot of these Americans, they don't want to fight this war. They did a poll that I believe about 60% of all Americans, they didn't want to be involved in this Iranian-American war, right? And they were against the war. 40% of them were with it, and I believe 60 to about 70, they said, we don't want no parts in this war. So even this modern-day king of Babylon, he's taking all of the sons and daughters and put them in his army, right? He's putting them in his army. Verse number 12 in 1 Samuel 8. He will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. So that's like the king of the nations. They all have a conscription. They have a draft, right? You have to be enrolled within their army. You have no say-so. You have no say-so. And he would take your daughters to be his confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. And he would take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. So when you read this, you read about the manner of the king that the Most High would give Israel. It would be just like these ancient Canaanite kings. Now let's go to 1 Samuel 13, right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 13, and we're going to read about some of these characteristics of Saul through the Spirit. And again, once you see how Saul is moving, you'll see that this so-called, this demon Trump, where's that devil at? Let's pull this devil back up. They would get along, man. Right? Trump would get along with Saul. Remember, Saul actually had an Edomite that was his chief man. Doeg the Edomite was Saul's top man. So Saul's mind was bad. Saul had delusions of grandeur. He was rejected by the Lord. He sought to persecute David. You know? So Saul was wicked, man. But Saul was chosen by the Most High to be wicked. Donald Trump was chosen by the Most High. Remember, Donald Trump said that he's the chosen one. Right? He said that. I had that clip. Right? Let's see if I can get that again. Right? He said, now this is from years ago. This is during his first term. He said, I am the chosen one. Right? Let me pull that up again. Right? He said, I am the chosen one. Let me pull this up. Right? Where is this at? Here it is. Again, this from years ago.
I am the chosen one. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So
I am the chosen one. And he looked up at the heavens when he said that, man. Right? He looked up at the heavens when he said that he's the chosen one. Now, after that pseudo assassination attempt, he also came out of. Let me go up. Here's what else he said. And this is all fair use.
His destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country.
I hate this damn devil, man. Right, but we're going to hear what he has to say.
And it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
See that? I was saved by God to make Slacky, to make America great again, man. Right? You're talking, that's a reprobate mind. Right? That's absolutely reprobate. Right? Just like we're going to go into King Saul, man. Absolute reprobate behavior. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 13. I'm not going to read, obviously, the whole chapter. Right? But there's a particular point I want to get, man. Both of these men were egotistical. Both of these men are proud. Both of these men want to destroy and harm the servants of the Lord. Hey, both of these men were wicked leaders in their kingdom, huh? Right? They were wicked leaders in their own kingdom. They brought division within their kingdom. So there's a lot of similarities between, again, Saul and so-called Trump. Right? This 1 Samuel chapter 13 and 8. We're going to go into some events about Saul. And don't be like Saul, right? 1 Samuel 13 and 8. And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Now remember, when you read this account, Samuel told Saul to wait 7 days, and I'm going to come and do the sacrifice. That's what he told him in the 10th chapter. So Saul waited 7 days. But Samuel didn't come at the time that Saul wanted him to come. And the people left him, right? Verse number 9. And Saul said, bring hither a burnt offering to me and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And this is reprobate. First of all, Samuel told Saul, you have to wait. Saul said, to hell with that. I'm going to do my own offering. I'm going to force the hand of the Most High. The Most High going to be with me. I'm going to be disobedient to the Most High, but I'm going to force the hand of the Most High to save me, even though I was disobedient. Then he went out to salute him. How do you go against God and against Samuel and the prophet, and then go out and act as if nothing happened, that he might salute him? You would think that you went off, your heart would smite you, and you have your head down. Like, damn, I can't believe I waited, man. I should have waited longer. He went out there, he might salute him. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and thou camest not within the days appointed. And the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself therefore and offered a burnt offering. And the Lord didn't tell them to do that, man. Nobody told Saul to do that. This is that pseudo-righteousness. He told him to wait at the set time. And he really believed that offering the offering to the Most High could allow him to win the battle. The Most High don't care about that offering if you're disobedient. The Lord said obedience is better than sacrifices. Let's read on to verse 13. And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of Yahweh thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. Right? So Saul had this spirit where he believed that he could be wicked and disobedient, and yet the Most High was still going to be with him. Huh? And the Most High wasn't with him. The Lord just told him that your kingdom's not going to continue. This society's not going to continue. See, America, they do the same thing, man. They have a Bible that you swear in on. They say that the Bible is the law of the land. They say in God we trust, but they do everything that's wicked. And that's why their kingdom's not going to continue. This is the most hypocritical kingdom that the Most High, ever made, man. That the Most High ever made. That's the same demon that Saul had. You can't pretend to be righteous, but when you're really disobedient. And he said he forced himself. No patience, no integrity, full of excuses, and completely foolish, man. Let's go to 1 Samuel 14. Right? This 1 Samuel chapter 14 and verse number 1. Now it came to pass upon the day that Jonathan, the son of Saul, said unto the young men that bear his armor, come and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison that is on the other side. But he told not his father. So Jonathan's bold. He said, look, the Most High could be with us. We'll take these Philistines down. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah under a pomegranate tree, which is in Migron, and the people that were with him were about 600 men. So what the hell is Saul doing in the uttermost part of Gibeah? Retreating. Doesn't want to fight. But Jonathan, his son, had a different spirit, right? Jonathan, his son, had a different spirit. So let's jump down. Let's read verse 16. And the watchmen of Saul in Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, number now and see who is gone from us. When they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer were not there. Why? Because Jonathan and his armor bearer, they went to fight. Right? Verse number 18. And Saul said to Ahiah, bring hither the ark of God, for the ark of God was at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priest, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thine hand. So here it is, Saul is making supplication to the Most High. He said, stop, right? Stop making supplication to the Lord. Stop seeking the Lord, right? And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there is a very great discomfiture. Verse number 21. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time went up with them into the camp from the country round about. Even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. So they had two different spirits. Saul had a coward-like spirit, resting under a tree in Gibeah, man, in the uttermost part, far away from the battle. And Jonathan had a bold spirit. Jonathan's spirit was, you know what? If the Most High allows us to overcome, we can overcome. If the Most High is with us, we can defeat the Philistines. Saul had a spirit where he put fear in all of the people. You know, all of the people were nervous, man. That's even in the account with David and Goliath, which we may get. All of the people during the days of battling Goliath, those 40 days, all of the Israelites were trembling. They were scared to death. And Saul was the king. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel 15. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15. So one of the key spirits that King Saul had was he was vain, he was reprobate, and he sought the attention of man more than the Most High. Now, this is one of the worst accounts of King Saul. Do not be like King Saul. 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So that was the decree. Destroy all of Amalek. Who's Amalek? Your so-called Jew, right? That's Amalek. The Lord told him, exterminate these men. Wipe them off the face of the earth. Kill everything that breathes. Easy commandment. I mean, it's simple. It doesn't get more simple than destroying your chief enemy. You don't need an in-depth breakdown on how to kill them and what to do. It's plain. Look at this guy. Right? So let's see what Saul did. Verse number 4. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them at Telam, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. So let's jump down. Verse number 8. So they made a slaughter. Remember, Samuel told Saul, slaughter everybody. And yet they did, or that they did. But Saul, being a reprobate that he was, and being a coward, weak leader, he didn't follow through with all of the instructions. 1 Samuel 15:8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. Who told him to take Agag alive? The Lord said, kill everybody. Cannot follow instructions. And Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. And nobody told them to save the sheep. The Lord said, kill anything and everything that breathes. Nobody told them to save the oxen and the fatlings and the lambs. How are you leading an army to destroy everything that breathes, but you can't even do that? And another thing about this spirit is, any man of the Lord who loves his people and loves the Most High and loves his son Yahweh Shai, it's going to be in their nature to destroy the enemy of God. You're going to have that hatred in you, that mind of vengeance in you. So Saul, I mean, his spirit was so off, he didn't even have that vengeance in him to utterly destroy all of the Amalekites. Why would you save that? What kind of spirit are you in to save the king alive? You would think in war that the king is the first one you kill. You would think the king of Agag, the chief Amalekite, would be the first dead man. So what kind of demon did this man have on him? What the hell were you going to do with Agag, man? I know Most High willing, man, if I was in that situation and you brothers, man, and the Lord told you go kill all of the Amalekites, it'd be easy. You had that built up hatred and vengeance to utterly destroy them. You wouldn't spare anybody. So Saul's spirit wasn't right, man. His spirit wasn't right. Let's read on. Verse number 10, 1 Samuel 15:10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all that night. So the first account of Saul going off was forcing the sacrifice, being reprobate, not being patient. The second one was retreating in a battle, not having any faith to take the Philistines down. The third strike, and Saul, he just can't get right. The third strike is, instead of destroying all the Amalek, he saved Amalek and all of the animals, the cattle. And the Lord said, I can't deal with this man anymore. Right? I hate that I made him king. 1 Samuel 15:12. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place and is going about and passed on and going down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, blessed be thou of Yahweh, I have performed the commandment of the Lord. Now, did you really? That's why we say Saul was reprobate. How did you perform the commandment of the Lord when you saved the king alive? And you saved all of the cattle. Then you blessed them in the name of the Lord. I performed the commandment of the Lord. Now, the worst part about this is Saul really believed that he performed the commandment of the Lord. Saul wasn't lying. You know, he wasn't trying to be deceitful. He really believed that he did the right thing. And that makes it worse. He said, I have performed the commandment of the Lord, man. Completely bugged out. But mine is bad. And Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? How did you perform the commandment of the Lord when you're supposed to kill all of the animals, but I'm hearing animals right now? What the hell are you doing? If you perform the commandment of the Lord, then these animals should be dead. What did Saul say? And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites. I thought Saul was in charge. Who's they? Now he passing it on the people. You're the king, man. No accountability. They did it. They brought them from the Amalekites. But you're the one that led the battle. You gave the commandments. You told people what to do. So now you're beginning to see these demons on Saul. They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. And nobody told you to sacrifice that. Nobody told you to do that. Then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord has said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. And Samuel said, when thou wast little in thy own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahweh, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? So that was covetous, man, to fly upon the spoil. Samuel said you went off. Let's see what Saul said. This is reprobate. And Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. Well, how? Saul really believed, even after Samuel checked him twice, in his mind, he really believed that he obeyed the voice of the Lord. You can't have no man fit like that to rule. That automatically disqualifies you from being king. You can't see your errors. You're completely reprobate and void of judgment. You have no idea what's going on. And then you double down and say, yeah, I did obey the voice of the Lord, after you got checked for not doing it. This is bad, man. Saul's mind was bad. And Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone away which the Lord sent me, and brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. This is like what they call a secondhand embarrassment. This is embarrassing, man. You know, sometimes you feel a spirit might hop on you when you feel bad for Saul. Like, just the guy's a shame, man. I went the way which the Lord sent me. I brought back Agag, and I utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But isn't Agag an Amalekite? How are you telling Samuel you destroyed all of the Amalekites, but you said at the same mouth you brought back Agag? Don't be like King Saul. Reprobate, man. Completely, he's just out of order. But the people took the spoil, sheep and oxen, and the chief things which should have been utterly destroyed, the sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. As if the Most High was going to be pleased with that sacrifice. How are you going to sacrifice to the Most High what he told you to destroy? Right? So this is madness, man. Right? We're going to read a little bit more. And Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Yeah, that's plain, man. Why would anybody be pleased with a bunch of sacrifices instead of you just doing the right thing? It's like you driving and you get all these tickets and you go before the judge. Yeah, I paid all these tickets off. I'm an outstanding citizen. How about you don't speed? Why don't you obey the speed limit? The judge would rather have you be obedient to the speed limit than for you to boast in all of these tickets that you paid off, all these sacrifices and all this money you spent, and all these hours of community service you did. Just obey the speed limit. To obey is better than sacrifice. I'd rather have a brother obey than a brother constantly apologize for disobeying. What am I supposed to say, brother? Okay, brother, you violated me 1,000 times. The water for all of the apologies. That means so much. No, don't do it again. To obey is better than sacrifice. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And this can happen to any one of us, man. If you, the day that you reject the word of the Lord, it's the same day the Most High can reject you from being king, or being a priest, or a prophet, or a father, or a husband. The Most High can take all these things away from you when you reject the word of the Lord. Verse number 24. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. He said, look, don't leave me. I want to worship the Most High. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee for being king over Israel. And Samuel turned about to go his way, and he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. So Samuel is leaving. Saul take hold on his mantle. Samuel said, get off me. So the garment rents, meaning rips in pieces inside the hand of Saul. And Samuel said unto him, Yahweh hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And again, this can happen to any one of us. You could be on fire, you could be zealous, but you could be going off. And if you go off, the Most High could take the kingdom from you and give it to another brother. He could take all your wisdom. He could take all your knowledge. He can take all your understanding. He could take all your faith, all of the gifts the Most High gave you, the Holy Spirit. He could take it all away from you and give it to a neighbor of yours that's better than you, that has more integrity than you, that's more on fire than you, more zealous than you, more diligent than you, more sincere than you. Cleaner hands and a cleaner heart. This can happen to any one of us any day that you reject the words of the Lord. Verse number 29, 1 Samuel 15 and 29. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now. I pray thee before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me that I may worship the Lord thy God. And this is off, right? If you in the spirit, you see what's off about this. See, Samuel, it's like your Saul said, I have sinned, yet honor me now. Well, what the hell is that about, man? First of all, you just heard that the Most High took the kingdom from you. And the first thing you say is, yeah, I sinned, but give me my honor. Honor me now. I pray thee before the elders of my people. So he wanted this to be seen in front of man. See, he wanted the facade that he was righteous. That's what this means. Even though in private, God rejected him, in public, he still wanted to be seen as if he was being dealt with by the Most High, or the Most High was dealing with him. Right? See if I can get that in another translation. 1 Samuel 15 to 30. Right? And that's how the kings of the nations are. Right? That's how the kings of the nations are. They have this facade of being righteous. Look at this. 1 Samuel 15 to 30. Then Saul pleaded again, I know I have sinned, but please at least honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel by coming back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God. How come he didn't say the Lord my God? because his spirit wouldn't have him say that. He said, I'm going to worship your God. What Israelite tells another Israelite, I want to worship your God? It sounds like something a heathen would say. Didn't Ruth say something similar to this? Your God will be my God and your people will be my people. That's how you know you're a stranger and you're cut off from the Most High. And the Most High rejected you. When you begin to say things like this, tell another brother, man, look, man, I want to worship your God. That's a reprobate statement. And this is also reprobate. I have sinned, but it ain't no but. Right? Lord, I know I went off, but. So Saul wasn't right, man. Yeah, I know I committed adultery, but. And Jake, you don't even go for that when when somebody apologized to you. Yeah, I want to say sorry, I offended you, but at the end of the day, nobody wants to hear that, man. Either you're sincerely apologizing or you're not. I know I have sinned, but at least honor me before the elders of my people. I want people to still think I'm righteous. Hey, Trump made he made his own Bible, man. This man, I brought it out on the other code because he had an actual yarmulke on. He wants people to think that he's righteous, man. Look at this. Yet honor me before the elders of my people. Look at this devil. Where's this at? Let me pull this up. Yet worship me. He got a whole yarmulke on. Look at this. Small hat. He's at the Wailing Wall. So now everybody could think that Trump, he's righteous. He's working with the people of God. God's people. Trump is their biggest supporter. But really, in private, he's been rejected by the Most High. Throughout plenty of scriptures, man. And these so-called white men, one thing about them is they know that they've been rejected by God. The same way Saul knew that. But yet they still want to pretend as if the Most High is working with them before the elders and the top men of the earth. Right now, let's get that in Job 15. Quick precept. Right? So they have that same demon, that reprobate demon. Trump knows, and don't act like he don't know. These people know that they're not the people of the Most High. That's why they persecute us. Saul knew that he was rejected. He was rejected so bad, he said, I want to worship your God. These elites know that they're rejected, but yet they still want to pretend as if they're righteous. That's that complex, right? That Saul complex. It's brothers like that in Israel, man. You know you're not in this truth, man. You really don't believe, but you still kind of come around because it's food at the feast day. Maybe it's some woman around. You don't really believe in this truth. You heard there's going to be liquor there or wine there, You heard, that it's going to be somebody on the grill and making burgers or whatever. New garments, somebody selling things, and then you show up. But your heart really not in it. Now, this 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse number, I want to get straight to the point. I'll read 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. So this applies to the so-called white man, right? And it's also, when you read about Saul, you can apply this to King Saul. Because Saul knew that the kingdom was taken from him, but he didn't know the exact time when it would be taken. Just like the so-called white man. He knows these prophecies that his kingdom's going to be taken from him. He knows Daniel 7 and 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Daniel 7 and 27, Micah 4 and 8, Acts 1 and 6. He knows these prophecies about the kingdom being restored to Israel, but he just doesn't know the exact time when it's going to happen. Verse 21, a dreadful sound is in his ears, and in prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. And the dreadful sound in the so-called white man's ears are these prophecies, these videos, these lives, the men that are out there on the highways and byways. That's the dreadful sound in his devil's ears, right? Verse number, even Saul, he had a dreadful sound in his ears, Remember the woman, they said Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. And Saul said he's ready to take the kingdom from him. Verse number 22. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. So when Saul was in his kingdom, he knew that the kingdom would be taken from him. He knew that David was set up, that the Most High was working with David. The Most High turned his son against him. The Most High even turned Saul's daughter against him. And she hid and protected David and lied for David. It was only a matter of time. Just like the so-called white man. He knows that he's waited for of the sword. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Right? So this devil, Esau, he knows that. As much as he pretends to be righteous and comes off as if he's the people of the Most High and goes to the Wailing Wall and even has his Trump Bible. What is that? God bless the USA Bible. Look at this. He's already been rejected. The same way Saul was rejected. But Saul said, I have sinned, but at least pretend that I'm righteous in front of everybody. Help me with my vainglory. Help me with my vanity. Look at this. Trump's Bible. Right? Look at this. Swearing in, holding the Bible. We don't believe in the Bible. Same demon that Saul had. I'm going to read this one more time. And I like it in that NLT. 1 Samuel 15:30. Then Saul pleaded again. I know I have sinned, but please at least honor me before the elders of the people and before Israel by coming back with me that I may worship Yahweh, thy God. Right? Worship thy God. Let's go to 1 Samuel 17:11. Right? Getting a few more concerning this King Saul. Man. 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse number 11. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. So when Goliath, that's the Philistine, when he said, I defy your armies, who the hell is the Most High? Y'all gonna be my slaves. I kill y'all. When Saul and the people heard this, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Here you are as the king, and you hear the wars that are about to kick off, and you're greatly afraid. Now, you're supposed to be the one to encourage the people. You're supposed to be the one to set the people in order, right? You're supposed to be like Judas Maccabees, like Joshua, these men that encouraged the people and told them dreams and reminded them of the mighty works of the Most High. Saul had none of that. He's by far one of the weakest, if not weakest, leaders to ever live amongst our people. How come he didn't encourage them, remind them of the works of the Most High? How come he didn't stir them up through exhortation? He didn't have that in him. A coward spirit. When these wars kick off in America, there's nothing that Trump is going to be able to say. There's nothing that these world leaders are going to be able to say. Hey, these Americans are already greatly afraid, man. Now, again, I brought up how they did that poll. Let's see if I can find that poll. Do Americans want war? They may not have it. They may have it. Look at this. Americans largely disapprove of U.S. involvement in Israel and Iran war. Right? Look at this. Where's the numbers? Let's see. A majority of Americans don't want the United States to get involved in the escalating war between Israel and Iran. A poll released this week found. Right? 60% said they shouldn't get involved. 16% said they should, and 24% are unsure. So this kingdom is finished, man. See, back in World War II, everybody was gung-ho. Women was in factories. Young men was fighting. Their sons were in the wars. Everybody was invested in World War II. World War I, everybody was invested. The Spanish-American War, the War of 1812, the Revolutionary War, there was a time when these world leaders wanted to go to war and they had the support of every American. Those days are over with, man. Ever since Vietnam, every war has been ostracized by the American public. It has been scrutinized. The Persian Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, all of these wars have been under scrutiny by the people of America. And they questioned their leaders, and they were trembling. They were fearful of these things. See, people are watching China, they're watching Iran, they're watching Russia, and they know that they can't beat them. See, if you're a righteous leader, you're going to stir up the minds of the people for war. Let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 4. But King Saul didn't have that spirit. This society doesn't have that spirit. Right? How do you have 24% of your entire country saying we're unsure? They're scared, man. They know they can't beat these nations in war anymore. That's the same spirit that Saul put on the people. This Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and 30. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants. So Saul was frantic. When you're frantic, you're a nervous wreck. You have anxiety, you're shaking, you're catching chills. And guess what that's going to do to your servants? It's going to put a same demon on them, and they're going to be afraid. That's what happened then. That's what's going to happen now, right? In these days. See, the Most High said that the men of Babylon have forlorn to fight. Let me see if I can get that in Jeremiah. So the same thing that happened with King Saul, it's going to happen in America. They're going to be scared to fight. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, meaning they're going to be scared to fight. We just read that in 1 Samuel. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Let's go back and read that in 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 17 and 11. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. So when these wars kick off and the rumors of wars, Goliath saying that's a rumor of war, man. I defy your armies. I'm going to destroy you. Those are rumors of wars, rumors of battles. And when these things were kicking off, the entire army was afraid. When these wars kick off, we read in Jeremiah, all these Americans are going to be afraid. Let's go to let's get another precept on that. Stop thinking that these American soldiers want to fight, man, and they're so mighty. Right? They're going to be scared of these Russians. The Lord said they were so afraid, yet durst fight. They're going to be scared of these Moabites. This Nahum chapter 3 and 13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. So when this society is broken down, the Lord said, your top American, he's going to be like a woman. Wide open, ready to be destroyed. Same spirit that so-called Saul was moving in. Now, David didn't have that spirit, right? Let's jump down to verse number 33. I'm going to start at 32. 1 Samuel 17 and 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And what does that matter? That means nothing. What does it matter that David was young and the Philistine was a man of war? The Most High could do what he wanted to do, but Saul didn't have any faith. Who are you to tell David that he can't fight with him? You can't beat him. This is a wicked leader. You'll never be able to conquer him. He's just a young man. This guy, he's a strong man. That's borderline coonery. This Goliath, you see Goliath right there? That's a big, strong man. He's been fighting forever. And you're just a young guy. You can't beat this big, strong man. I don't want no guy around me like that, man. We don't need anybody like that around. That's a demon. Right? That's an actual demon. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered him out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Huh? Right? So the Lord put him on game. Or David put Saul on game about how the Most High was with him. But you see that same demon. We're seeing the demons that were on Saul. This is before he tried to kill David. Reprobate, no faith, disobedient, wicked, ungodly. And there's a precept I want where it says that Saul built this altar, but it was the first altar that he built. Right? Let me get that up first. I believe that's 1 Samuel 14. Man, it was more on 1 Samuel 14 I wanted to get as well. Right? But let's get this. See if I can get this for sake of time. Yeah, 1 Samuel 14. Right? Going back a little bit. This whole chapter. Right? Let's go back to read some more about this man Saul. It's 1 Samuel chapter 14 and verse number 28. Right? 1 Samuel 14 and 28. Then answered one of the people and said, thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food this day, and the people were faint. So he put out wicked laws that were burdensome to the people. They destroyed the people, just like this society, right? Taking away certain things from you, putting heavy burdens on you, right? Putting us further in our oppression, raising the prices of certain things, going to war unjustly. So the people are being victims of the king. King Saul said, nobody could eat anything until I kill my enemies. What a wicked oath is that? Then said Jonathan, my father had troubled the land, and Trump is troubling the land. All these Edomites are troubling the land with wicked laws and policies. Here it is, America is about to get involved into a major global war, and they're going to trouble the land of America and trouble the whole earth. Wicked leaders, what they do, they don't heal the land. They trouble the land, put fear in the people, bring people into unnecessary wars and battles and situations, starve the people, cut them off from the Most High. Saul troubled the land by putting that curse out there and saying, cursed be the man that eateth anything before I'm avenged of my enemies. Now let's jump down to what happened because he did that. 1 Samuel 14 and 31. And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Aijalon, and the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil and took a sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood. So they were so faint after the battle that they didn't even try to cook the food because Saul wouldn't let them eat, man. So they had to hurry up and eat because they were starving to death, and they started eating stuff with blood in it. See, a wicked king destroys his people, man. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and 3. And that's what this society is doing, is destroying the people, man. Through the passion of laws, Pride Month, tampered food, chemtrails, tainted water. The people are destroyed. Verse number 33. Then they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sin against the Lord. and that they eat with the blood. And he said, ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. Right? Verse number 34. And Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people, and said to them, bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here and eat, and sin not against the Lord in eating with blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto Yahweh. The same was the first altar that he built unto the Lord. Now, why does it say the same was the first altar? Because he should have been built the altar. He should have built the altar the day that he was anointed king. I mean, this man Saul was anointed king, and he was hiding amongst the stuff. They had to go grab him out. He was just off, man. How are you anointed king, but you're hiding amongst the stuff? You didn't build the altar. Now you want to build the altar when you cause the people to sin. Should have been, hey, Noah built the altar when he got out the ark, man. Abraham built altars. Jacob built altars. Noah built altars. Elijah built altars. Saul waited till way late in his kingdom to finally build the altar. He despised the Most High, man. That's like you come into this truth. You wait 2 years later, then you finally want to pray and thank the Most High. You wait 5 weeks later to finally thank the Most High for bringing you in this truth. That was the first time, huh? So Saul wasn't right, man. Saul wasn't right. Now, I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but you can clearly see how the Most High wasn't dealing with Saul, right? How the Most High wasn't dealing with Saul. Then he ended up casting a lot and made an oath, then back up the oath. I mean, this was a disaster, right? I actually want to read a little of this. Let's jump down. I want to get straight to the point. Verse number 39. So Saul went to ask of the Most High what he should do further in the war. The Most High didn't answer him. So Saul said, well, maybe the Most High is not answering us because there was an oath that was broken. So he wanted to know who broke the oath. Because again, when Saul said, nobody can eat anything before I destroy my enemies, Jonathan actually went and ate honey. But Jonathan didn't know his father said that. So now what Saul is doing is he's trying to figure out who ate something and broke the oath. So he's about to cast a lot. Let's see what he said. 1 Samuel 14:38. And Saul said, draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin hath been this day. For as the Lord liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. So he made an oath. He says, as long as the Most High is alive, which is forever, if Jonathan ate anything, I'll kill him. He swore. And how come the people didn't say anything? Because they knew Jonathan ate something. Right? Then said he unto all Israel, be ye on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, do what seemeth good unto thee. They said, yeah, do what you want to do, man. They looked at Saul like a joke. Do what seemeth good unto thee. Do what you want to do. Because the people knew that Jonathan ate it. So they said, man, do what you want to do, man. Saul put Jonathan on his side as if he knew Jonathan wouldn't break the oath. The people knew Jonathan broke the oath. So the people like, man, whatever, man. They didn't respect Saul. Do what seemeth good unto you. Not yea, my Lord. Yea, my king. Man, do whatever, man. It's your world. You got it. That's what that means. You got it. Verse number 41. Therefore Saul said unto Yahweh, give a perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. So the lot was cast on Jonathan, which means the Most High revealed that he's the one that broke the oath. Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and lo, I must die. Jonathan said, I went off, ate the honey, killed me. And Saul answered, God do so more also, for thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die, who hath wrought this great salvation in Israel? God forbid, as the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground. For he hath wrought with God this day, so the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Now this is out of order. Why? Because didn't Saul say, as the Lord live, I'm going to kill whoever ate the honey? So he's supposed to kill Jonathan. But then the people said, man, the hell with your oath. We're going to make an oath. And our oath is going to trump your oath. He said, as the Lord liveth. You're not going to kill Jonathan. So this is division in the kingdom. Here it is, the king made an oath. Then all of the citizens, they made an oath. The Trump hit the king's oath. And you have division in this society, man. You got people saying they want to go to war. People saying they don't want to go to war. Some people support the king, Trump. Some people don't support him, right? You just had not too long ago, you had a King's Day. Or No King's Day. What was that? No King's Day. Right? And all of these riots against Trump. So wicked leaders bring division into a kingdom. That's what wicked leaders do. They cause you to despise them due to wicked laws and their wicked dealings. So you have the people of America protesting against the president. They had a whole day. And just like in 1 Samuel, they protested against the king. Yeah, you made an oath to the Most High. The hell with your oath. We're going to make our own oath, man. So the entire kingdom was divided. And this man, where's this devil at? He's dividing his kingdom. When Most High willing, they go to war. They go to war with Iran, this whole kingdom is going to be completely ripped apart, man. It's going to be completely ripped apart. And again, we're praying to the Most High they go to war, man. We don't want a peace treaty. Now, allegedly, Trump weighed out the options. Are they going to use their bunker blaster missiles to get deep into these underground facilities? They're saying Israel is running out of missiles. China's actually sending Iran missiles. Russia said they're going to support. I'm led to believe, now I'm just a man, I'm led to believe Trump is going to lead them to this war. And if they do, it's over. Right? It's over. And that's the World War III really kicking off, man. Really kicking off through the spirit. So we're just going to keep watch. This man got them same reprobate, division, break apart a kingdom, jealousy, envy, pride, vainglory spirit that King Saul had, man. So we're going to keep watch and watch this place go down. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamalak Yabashai, Most High willing you are edified, Kwam Yashab, and keep the Sabbath holy. No buying, no selling, no cooking, no working, no sex on the Sabbath, no speaking your own pleasures, no doing your own words. Keep the Sabbath holy. Kwam Yashab. Shalom.